Welcome into the Cowboys Report, and as promised, it is time for my final 53-man roster projection, plus some practice squad options as well. As a reminder, 53 is the proper number. It can become 55 during game day week as you can promote 2 practice squad players, but for our purposes, it is a 53-man roster with the cut deadline coming up on Saturday. Going to be 4 p.m. Eastern time, and some cuts, as we'll mention, actually already underway, including Clayton Thorson. He was one of the first cuts the Cowboys have made that was revealed today. I have gone back and forth on Dak Prescott, Andy Dalton. They're obviously going to make the roster, but Ben DiNucci is the one I've waffled on. For my final one, I'm going to put him back on the 53. I think you could get him to the practice squad. I really do, and I might actually prefer that route. But I think the Cowboys are going to be cautious and keep him on the 53. But I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Does Ben DiNucci make the Cowboys' 53-man roster? And I think the Cowboys, by the way, might be going rather light at the running back position. I've got Zeke, Pollard, and that's it. Now, with 16 players on this year's practice squad, I think you'll see the Cowboys go heavier at that particular spot. But when it comes to the 53, I've got them going light. You don't really need a fullback. You can use a tight end, as you'll see in that particular role. So I've got just 2. Now, the Cowboys will make their official decisions and cuts for at least the initial 53-man roster on Saturday. We will break it down. We will have all of the cuts, the full 53-man roster, knowing that there could be some changes after cut-down deadline day. But once that happens, you will have that video for you. So if you want the full breakdown, all you guys have to do is subscribe to the Cowboys Report right now. Let's go to receiver now, where 3 obvious locks: Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. I think Cedric Wilson is a borderline lock, and I think Noah Brown is safe. He's had a couple of very nice practices the past 2 weeks or so. I think got him on the right side of that roster bubble. Now, where things could get a little bit dicey is with Ventel Bryant, because I've kind of gone back and forth on him making this roster or not. The knee injury he suffered on Saturday. Not an ACL tear, over the weekend, I should say. The recovery time is not yet known. He is still in the mix for one of the last roster spots, but carrying an injured guy who might miss some time doesn't make a lot of sense. Maybe they try and get him down to the practice squad. Now, one player the Cowboys have already cut is Devin Smith. He was released today by the Cowboys. He is eligible with the revamped rules for the practice squad this year. Maybe he gets a shot somewhere else. Maybe he wants to go somewhere else. But with Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson impressing, it put Devin Smith on the outside looking in, and he's already been cut by the Cowboys. Now, we have some jersey deal alerts for you guys. Head over to chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. They are back on sale. They were on sale for a while, then they disappeared and weren't on the sale rack anymore. Now they're back on it. Both Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb. There are some Michael Gallup ones in there as well. Zeke Elliott, $75 is where these start. There are also some custom jerseys if you want to get your own name on there. I'll put the link in the comments and in the description. It's chatsports.com/Cowboys jersey. Over now to tight end. I've got, obviously, Blake Jarwin, Dalton Schultz, and Blake Bell. I feel pretty good about those 3. I think you might see Bell kind of be used as an H-back fullback at times. Maybe the Cowboys surprise and go with one of the undrafted free agents, but I think the practice squad is a little bit more likely for those guys. But there could be a surprise roster cut or 2, or even just some surprise roster moves. So I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think will be a surprise roster cut? And yes, CLINTON-DIX, who we'll get to in a little bit, would qualify. So this will be the pinned comment on today's video. If you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down and let me know what you think. Let's go to the offensive line, where I did make a late change. I pulled Ventel Bryant off, and I included Terrence Steele. Adam Redmond has already been cut. He was, I know, on some people's 53-man roster projections. I think Smith and Sewell and Looney, Martin, Collins, Irving, McGovern, Biadish are all locks. I think Brandon Knight is very safe right now. And maybe Steele is a bit of a surprise addition here, but I've heard growing buzz about how the Cowboys feel about him. I know some others had him on their 53-man roster projection, like Todd Archer of ESPN. They gave him a decent signing bonus. Maybe they don't want to gamble with him on the practice squad. In the end, Steele was the 53rd player on my projection. Let's go now to the defensive line. All right, Tank, he's a lock. Tyrone Crawford, he's a lock, I think. Maybe there's a restructure, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Dontari Poe, Everson Griffin, Alden Smith, those guys are locks. I think Antoine Woods and Tristan Hill and Neville Gallimore are all going to make this team. Bradley and I think, is going to make it as well. He's not quite a lock, but on the very much safe side. Randy Gregory does not count, still suspended. I think the Cowboys want to go with 10, and in the end, number 10 was one Dorrance Armstrong. And I do wonder, and this is speculation, I'm not sourcing anything, but I do wonder if you could see Dorrance Armstrong maybe shopped by the Cowboys before roster cuts of, hey, you know what, maybe we go with a Rondell Carter instead and try and get a draft pick back for Dorrance Armstrong at the back end of that defensive end rotation. He has a very difficult path to actually seeing playing time. So what would you do with him? Let's say you could get a mid to late day 3 pick, which I think is all you're going to get for Dorrance Armstrong. What would you do? Type K for keep, type C for cut, or type T for trade? I lean towards keep, but I would not be doing my job if I were the Cowboys if I didn't at least explore a possible trade option. Let's go to linebacker now. LVE, Jalen Smith, obvious locks. Pretty sure Sean Lee is safe, although Sean Lee is not, been healthy as of late. He hasn't been a factor in training camp at all right now, and that's a big-time concern. I think Joe Thomas is safe. I'm pretty sure Francis Bernard is a lock right now. He's looked great in camp. He's going to make it. It comes down to Justin March and Luke Gifford, who I know many of you like, but much like Bryant right now, Gifford can't stay healthy. That has been a significant problem for him. So I went back and forth as to who to put on here, Gifford or Justin March. The loser, I think the Cowboys try to get onto the practice squad. Who would you keep? I think you guys are going to type in Gifford, but I, of course, want to see what the actual results are. Type G for you want to keep Luke Gifford, or type M for you want to keep Justin March. All right, over now to the cornerback spot. Awuzie, Diggs, Anthony Brown, those guys are locks. Darryl Worley's safe. Jordan Lewis should be safe. C.J. Goodwin I'm going to include on here. He's really a special teams guy, but I think he ends up being your quote-unquote 6th cornerback. Jordan Lewis, by the way, I don't think he's going to practice. In fact, McCarthy said he doesn't expect him to practice. In all honesty, he might be cornerback 5 right now on the actual depth chart, which I know you guys don't want to hear, but that's where we're at. Let's go then to safety, where I am going to officially change and make Darian Thompson the projected starter at quote-unquote strong safety. There's not a huge difference right now, but that's where we're at. And that leaves Clinton-Dix as a backup, and I'm not sure he's going to make the roster. Woods and Thompson, Woods is a lock. Thompson should make it. Donovan Wilson should make it. Cowboys, I don't think are going to cut a 4th-round pick in Robinson quite yet. But Clinton-Dix, he might get cut. That is a very real possibility. If there is a quote-unquote surprise cut, I think it's going to be Clinton-Dix. He hasn't been great at camp. The Cowboys could save a little under $2 million if they chose to release him with the way his contract is structured. So what do you guys think? Does Clinton-Dix make the Cowboys 53-man roster? Type 1 for yes or type 0 for no. I'm honestly not sure at this point. I put him on there because I'd rather keep Clinton-Dix than go with another receiver and Ventel Bryant, but I think it's going to be a tough decision here for the Dallas Cowboys. Special teams, no real surprise here. Greg Zuerlein, Chris Jones, LP. Boom, that's it. The Cowboys have not brought in any real competition. They cut Kai Forbath. Zuerlein's been great at camp. He's going to be the guy at kicker. So we're going to get to the practice squad now. Before we do, I want you guys to let me know who you want on the Cowboys practice squad this year. Remember, there are 17 options. Supposed to be 16 this year. The Cowboys get one more because of their international player, who we'll get to in a little bit. But let me know who you want on the Cowboys practice squad this year. All right, as promised, I went heavier at the running back position. I'll include Shewol Onolua as a running back, fullback, whatever you want to list him as. Doesn't really matter. Rico Dowdle, Darius Anderson. The Cowboys could use one of those two guys, probably Rico Dowdle more likely right now, as the promotion practice squad player during the week. I got John Vay Johnson on there. I'll sneak Ventel Bryant, get him healthy, and then maybe call him up to the 53-man roster at some point, along with undrafted free agent Aaron Parker, Sean McEwen, and then big old Charlie T out of Portland State as the other tight end. Adam Redmond has already been released. I think if he's able to make it through everything and get down and is still available for the practice squad, I think the Cowboys would add him. I got Joe Jackson on there. Rondell Carter, by the way, had the highest signing bonus, but he's caught up in a numbers game at defensive end. The same is true for Ladarius Hamilton. I'm not sure Justin March would squeak through. I think that he might get claimed. However, I think this year more than any other year, it's more likely you'll be able to sneak guys down because by the time they get through protocols and testing and everything, you're going to have less of an impact. I put Chris Westry on there. I threw on Savion Smith. I don't know if he's actually going to make the practice squad. The Cowboys might poach some other players, but he makes some sense. Luther Kirk as another UDFA, and then the player from Mexico, part of the International Player Program with the NFL, a free bonus practice squad spot if the Cowboys want, and there's no reason not to, for Isaac Alarcon. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.